Something as innocent as encouraging your baby to have one more spoonful of food or placing one more piece of food on their tray when they're finished eating, just in case they want more, is something you should always avoid when introducing solids. That's because when you do this, you're essentially force feeding your little one, and force feeding is really detrimental when introducing solids. When babies are force fed, they often become stressed or upset, which turns mealtimes into an unhappy and tense experience for them. This stress triggers their fight, flight, or freeze mode, which is a natural response designed to keep them safe from danger. And when this happens, their body releases stress hormones like adrenaline and cortisol. Although these hormones are helpful in real emergencies, they have a negative impact on the body during mealtime. They shift the body's focus away from processes like digestion, essentially switching off the digestive system. As a consequence, your baby's appetite is suppressed and their body isn't ready to process and absorb the nutrients from the food. This makes it even more difficult for them to eat and enjoy their meal. Furthermore, when the fight, flight, or freeze response is repeatedly triggered during mealtimes, it can create a lasting negative association with eating. And this could result in your baby becoming hesitant to try new foods or having trouble developing a healthy relationship with food in general. It's also important to remember that babies have a natural ability to self-regulate their food intake, meaning they'll eat when they're hungry and stop when they're full. Force feeding can actually disrupt this natural ability, making it harder for them to develop healthy eating habits and increasing the likelihood of them overeating in the future. The key to avoiding this response is to pay attention to your baby's cues and create a warm, positive experience during mealtimes. As a parent, you're in charge of selecting the food, setting the mealtime, and choosing the place that your baby will eat, while your baby decides how much they want to eat. Adopting this mindset supports your baby in learning to self-regulate, gaining confidence in their eating abilities, and makes mealtimes more relaxed and supportive. By allowing them to explore new foods at their own pace and without pressure, you are encouraging them to gradually expand the variety of foods that they're willing to eat. Avoiding this mistake is one of 5 ways that you can make introducing solids a breeze and ensure you don't inadvertently train them to avoid solids. Now let's talk about the other 4, starting with using screens during mealtime. When your baby is engrossed in a screen during mealtime, their focus shifts away from their food and eating becomes more of a background activity. This lack of attention can hinder their ability to learn essential skills like proper chewing and swallowing and increase their risk of choking. Furthermore, when a baby's attention is focused on a screen, they may not fully experience the taste, smells, and textures of their food. Because they're distracted, mindful eating gets pushed to the sidelines, which could set the stage for picky eating habits as they grow up. The continuous presence of screens during mealtimes can also make it difficult for your baby to recognize their own hunger and fullness cues. When they're not fully aware of these bodily sensations, they may be more prone to overeat or undereat. This disconnection from their body's natural signals can lead to an unhealthy relationship with food and affect their overall eating habits. By keeping screens away during meals, your baby can focus on the sensory experience that comes with eating, allowing them to build a more diverse and enjoyable relationship with food, as well as develop healthier eating habits. Now, this next one might be hard if you don't like mess, but a significant amount of your baby's learning comes from exploring the world around them, and that includes getting their hands on their food. Touching, poking, and playing with their meals helps them become familiar with the textures, smells, and tastes of different foods, without any pressure to eat it right away. This hands-on approach is key, as babies often need to see, touch, and play with new food a few times before they're comfortable eating it. The mistake I often see is trying to place brand new food directly into the baby's mouth without letting them have this experience first. When you do this, your baby is often overwhelmed by this experience. The temperature, texture, and tastes are all a complete surprise to them, and they usually react by spitting out the food, gagging, or pulling away. Letting your baby play and touch their food before placing it in their mouth helps them gradually try and accept new food on their own terms. And this also reduces the likelihood of them becoming picky eaters in the long run. Additionally, playing with the food is a fantastic way for them to develop their motor skills, as it provides the perfect opportunity for them to practice using their hands and fingers to grasp, pinch, and manipulate different foods. These fine motor skills are essential for self-feeding and play a big part in helping babies become independent eaters. Now, if you're spoon feeding, one mistake you want to avoid is continuing with it for too long. Spoon feeding for too long can negatively impact a baby's learning process when it comes to eating. When a baby is spoon fed for an extended period, they may miss out on opportunities to practice using their mouth, tongue, and jaw muscles to manipulate, chew, and swallow different types of food. This lack of practice can delay oral motor skill development and may result in a preference for soft foods and difficulties managing textured food. Furthermore, prolonged spoon feeding can also contribute to picky eating habits. Babies who are spoon-fed are often exposed to a limited range of textures and tastes, as the food is typically mashed or pureed. This limited exposure makes it more challenging for the baby to accept new flavors and textures as they transition to more complex foods. By not allowing your baby to explore and experiment with different foods on their own, they might become more hesitant or resistant to trying new things, leading to picky eating habits. Therefore, to support oral motor skill development and prevent picky eating, it's crucial to gradually introduce self-feeding and a variety of textures and tastes. When following the spoon feeding approach correctly, a baby's diet should evolve as they grow older, and this progress happens quite quickly. At 6 months of age, the baby starts with pureed food, and by 7 months, the consistency should transition to thicker, lumpier options. Between 8 and 9 months of age, the baby should be eating lumpier food from a spoon and be introduced to finger foods. And by 9 months of age, the baby should predominantly eat a wide range of finger foods with various textures and flavors. The type of spoon your baby uses can also make mealtimes more challenging than it needs to be, particularly if the spoon is way too big. When the spoon is too big, it doesn't fit into your little one's mouth well, making it difficult for them to eat from. And it also encourages overloading the spoon with too much food, which increases the likelihood of your little one gagging on the food. Unfortunately, I see so many spoons on the market that look really nice and are marketed really well as baby spoons, but they're actually way too big. If you want to know which spoons are best for babies, be sure to check out the link in the description box below for my free Mealtime Essentials guide. In it, I share all of my favorite products that make mealtimes easier and slightly less messy for both you and your little one. Another one that is really easy to overlook is providing them with adequate support in their high chair. When a baby is well supported in a high chair, it means that they can sit upright, their arms are resting on the tray or table level with their belly button, and their feet are supported. And when they're in this position, they can focus on eating and exploring the new food and develop their self-feeding skills. On the flip side, if a baby struggles to sit upright, or the tray or table is too high, or their feet are left unsupported, their attention and energy will be consumed by the effort to maintain balance and stay seated, leaving little room for them to focus on the meal itself. This struggle can be a major roadblock in their ability to engage with food and learn to eat independently. Providing adequate support in a high chair also allows babies to use their hands and arms effectively for self-feeding. Babies who are falling to the side or trying to reach food on a tray or table that's at shoulder height will struggle to use utensils, grasp the food, or bring it to their mouths, limiting their ability to develop their fine motor skills that are essential for independent eating. Given that the vast majority of high chairs are simply too big for babies, it's important you adjust the high chair so it can provide your little one with the support they need to eat safely. To help you do just that, make sure you watch this video next, where I show you how to adjust your little one's high chair using everyday items around the home. By taking the time to get the high chair set up to support your baby at the start, you are ensuring that they can focus on the skill of eating and helping to ensure that each mealtime is successful and enjoyable.